Hello everyone, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia. I would love to give you guys a super huge thanks for purchasing my class wherever in the Stampin' Up world you may be. Just know I really do appreciate you guys supporting me and enjoying my classes every month. So this is card number 1 for my Cheerful Daisies class. So we are using the Cheerful Daisies stamp set and dies for this card, and this is the card we are going to make. I have seen plenty of trellis cards out there on Pinterest, on Google, all the places. I've seen plenty, but I wanted to make a fence card because I don't have any trellises at home, so I wanted to make a fence card. This was my first version. I wasn't particularly 1000% happy with the design, wasn't happy with how I constructed the fence because this first paling isn't all the way but up to the edge of the card, but as you can see through this, and a couple of my team girls have given me a fantastic suggestion which will make constructing this card a cinch, an absolute cinch. Now, for the card that I made with my team, I do have just a little flap of connection here, and that connects the whole fence piece to the card, and then the fence piece creates the card front. But once again, you can still see under it, okay? So a lot of them did suggest just grabbing a plain card front and adhering it behind, which absolutely is a fantastic idea and will make writing on the inside of the card so much easier. But I'm going to show you an even better way today. It will be the same design, just a slightly different construction, because what I did do, I cut all of our fence palings, all of our beams, and constructed them together separately. Then I adhered it to this piece in the card. But we're going to construct everything on the card front today. But first, I need to show you the colours that we have used in this card. Now, the palette is pretty simple. On this card, I did use Granny Apple Green. On my original card, I used Lemon Lime Twist. I used Crumb Cake on the fence here on the original card, and I very lightly use Pecan Pie on my second card. So you get very slightly different looks, but they still look fantastic. And for the flowers, I have used Lemon Lolly and Pumpkin Pie with our blending brushes. So that will be a little bit later. What I wanted to show you first was how I construct the fence. Okay, so I'm going to keep this one in and throw these on, well, not throw them, just put them to the side and bring in my trimmer. Okay, so I have a card front size, a card base size. This is exactly the back or the front of a card. And to make the fence palings, I have used 1.5, which is about, it's 5/8. But full instructions are going to be in my project sheet. So I am just going to continually cut at this size the whole piece. Now, it doesn't matter if they're not absolutely perfect because it's a fence. Not every paling on a wooden fence is perfect. Now, I must admit, wooden fences really are thing of the past. I have a metal ColourBond fence. It may be an Australian thing. I have them on both sides of my property here in Australia, and my back fence is a wooden fence. So yeah. Now I could cut this last one as well, but I'm not going to, but I will pop it off to the side just in case I need it or I stuff up somewhere along the way. I am going to bring in a scrap piece, and we are going to colour all of our fence palings and our 2 beams. I've previously cut our 2 beams, and I'm going to use crumb cake to colour these. So we're just going to use a blending brush, and I did forget to tell you about the embellishments that we're using, which are the pastel iridescent gems. So I just want to be, now this probably does have a bit of pecan pie in it because, oops, I've used that on another project. So these may look not quite perfect. Now, I'm not worried really about the texture I'm getting onto these because they're fence palings. Everyone's different and unique, and that's good. So they're also not even, but I did just want a bit of colour so then it's not white on white. I've looked at a lot of projects with trellis cards and stuff like that, and I've gone, what's not appealing to me? And I think it was the fact it was white on white. It's probably very much a me thing, and that's okay. So the beans as well, these are the exact width of the card, and we're going to colour those but keep them separate just for the moment. Okay, so all coloured, quicker, oh no, one more for good measure. No, that one's, as I said, rustic, all good. It's all going to work fine in the end. Now close my ink pad, pop my brush over there, if I can find my scissors. Now, the bit that's going to be a bit different, we'll show you how I constructed this last time. I took the 2 fence palings. I took a beam and I constructed like that, put the bottom beam on and kind of went from there, filling it in. But some of the girls struggled. I must admit, my card isn't perfectly square. This one, neither card is perfectly square. So let's bring in a card base, and we are going to construct on the card base, which means our beams will be last. So just going to use a bone folder, which I did put back in its home. Okay. I may have scored this a little bit off. That's okay. That's why our bone folders are so good. Right. Perfect. Now, I'm still going to start at each end because unlike my original card, I prefer the look of having it butt up against each end. It looks as though there's a really weird piece on this card, but it's all about learning and trial and error, and that's just how I did this. So I'm going to run, come on please, just think there's a tiny, there we go, there was a glue goober there but not anymore. So I'm just going to run a bit. Doesn't help when the glue goober's on the wrong side. Okay, whoops. Just going to run a bead of glue up both sides. I'm just going to leave this here. And I'm just going to take 2 of our fence palings and pop them. Whoops. Good and bad thing about our glue. Just a little bit. Just wiggled out there for a second. So 1 on there, 1 on there. Pop this up and you can see the colour difference with just using that bit of blending. So now I can work out how many and roughly how far apart I would like my fence palings. Now it just happened when I made this card, I just went bam, 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 and it worked. So I'm thinking I used about 2, 4, 6. I used 6 last time and I've got 2, 4, 6 again this time. So I'm just going to run beads of glue just about there. Now you could definitely try my other way of adhering if you would like, but I just think this way is so much easier. You could use whatever color behind. You could even grab a leafy piece of designer series paper and pop it behind as if you're looking into a hedge. That will be a really fun look. You could even do that with this matching designer series paper, which is fresh as a daisy. That would look really good as well. But I'm just going for a bit of a cleaner look. Now, let's see how I have gone here. They're not all perfect, but let's see. Not too bad. Not perfect, but not too bad. I think that one's actually adhered, but that's okay. So I have my 2 cross beams and I am just going to go there, 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 and pop this cross beam on. Now I am aware I do have a little bit of orange ink on this cross beam. That's fine. I'm not particularly worried. Okay, then we go across the bottom, and that was so much easier than the way I did it. So you've got the white in the background still, but you've just got the whole card front, so then you can write whatever you would like on the inside. Very, very happy with that. Now, I'm going to put this aside to fully cure, and I am going to bring in our flower pieces. So pop our greenery out of the way here, and I will grab back in our die set, and I will show you exactly what I have cut. So this is all out of basic white cardstock. I have cut these 2 pieces. I've cut these 2 pieces and these 2 pieces, as well as 4 of our ferny greenery, okay? So that is what I have done. And with all our silhouette pieces, are they or do they? Okay, I don't think, trying to work out if they have, if they are adhesive or not. Just let me have a really quick look with our Take Your Pick tool and Crafter's Picks. Because it's really sometimes hard to tell. And I can't remember because I have done this a bazillion times. I think I did. Quite possibly. That is, it just looks as though I'm splitting the cardstock there. Just give me one more go. I think I'm going to have to use glue. I think this set I didn't put adhesive sheet on, but if you haven't already got adhesive sheet, in one of my other cards I'm going to show you exactly how easy you can stick the cardstock on the adhesive sheet on one side, die cut it, and then you've got a sticker back and it's ready to just peel and stick to our project. Now, going to need this piece of paper again, and we're just going to add some colour to our flowers. So with our big and our medium flower, I'm going to use the lemon lolly in just the middle. So just creating a variegation of colour using the lemon lolly and the pumpkin pie, but I've used the pumpkin pie quite lightly. So lemon lolly there, it will dry back, okay, and then lemon lolly here, okay, and then I have reversed it for our cone flower. I have used lemon lolly on the inside of our detail piece. Okay, so they are our 3 pieces that have lemon lolly. Now, I haven't missed a piece there. Okay, close this one up. Oh dear, I know what I didn't do, but I know what I didn't do before I stuck something down. I didn't stamp my sentiment. So we're going to give it a go and stamp our sentiment to the card base while we have the pumpkin pie open. We're going to have to do some deep praying to see how we go. So I'm just going to use our small blending brush again and just take a lot of this colour off and just go quite lightly with a light hand on our detail piece. Now, just let me grab these 2 pieces. So just on the middle of the cone flower there, just adding that pumpkin pie and dabbing that off and just going to the middle of our medium flower. So that is all the blending and colouring that we're doing. Okay, I had, note the word had, my sentiment. So just so you understand, I constructed this whole card and then thought, oh, where am I going to put my sentiment? So the You Made My Day, I inked up the You Made My, stamped that, cleaned the stamp, then stamped the day. It worked perfectly. For my second card that I did with my team, I worked smarter and said, let's stamp a You Made My Day before we put our flowers and greenery on, and both work equally well. It just depends on what look and how fussy you would like it. So I am just going to test it. Very nice, very good. Okay, just pray. It should work fine. And it did. Great. Whew. Whew. Okay, ready for some gluing and construction now. Okay. So, not on our card base. We'll just pop that to the side again for a second, and I'll just leave this like this. I'm losing all my flower pieces here. There we are. So let's start with our cone flower here. Pop this here. Pop a little glue here. I just cannot believe that I did miss using the adhesive sheet on here. But hey, that's okay. I can say, do as I say, not as I do, and make life so much easier for you. And I didn't mean to rhyme then, trust me. I'm trying to concentrate as much as I can here on popping these pieces into place. Very happy with that one. Okay, so bring this one around and just I try to line up these bottom pieces. Now sometimes you need to go like one flower over. It's a bit weird, but you kind of just need to have some patience with yourself. Now I have left one petal here completely undone. So that, does that work, or do I go one more over? One more over. I always think it's one way and it's one more over, but that's okay. Kind of got it in the right place without tacking anything down too severely. And then I can just push everything into place. You've got this beautiful halo in the middle. We will be putting some gems on it. And then we just do this one. We just need to pray for this one. We may get a little gluey in our hands, but that's okay. Just tinsy dots. Just tinsy. Okay, that should do. That should do. And then we are going to use dimensionals on the back. So that should be fine. And go around one more. Not quite. Just spin it the tinsiest bit. Oops. There we go. Nicely into place. A couple of these petals are popping up, which is fine because petals are going to pop up anyway. Grab some dimensionals on these pieces. And the cone flower flew all the way over there on my hand. Okay, I think large dimensionals will work really well here. So I think I want 3 on this one. But we also want to kind of concentrate towards the middle because do want to pop in our greenery. Okay. So with the cone flower, I'll just use 1. That should be plenty. And I think this one, middle size one, I'll just use 1. So bring our card front over, and this is where we begin constructing the final card, or the final version of the card. Looking for my rubbish bin here and just wondering where it ran off to. It's just in arm's reach. Okay, so just remembering that I would like a little bit of greenery. I've just popped that one there, and then next I'm going to put our middle size flower and then the cone flower, and I do want the middle, I want them kind of tucked under, tucked over, just to give a little bit of interest. So under or over, it doesn't really matter. So that one there, and then I want, now I'm using the cone flower as like a partially opened daisy. So a lot of my girls who made this card in my team meeting did flip it over, but I kind of like it that way. Now with our lemon lime twist greenery, I am going to pop a dot of glue because there's nowhere really to pop glue on these, and we're just going to line this bottom stem with some glue, and we're literally just going to pop this in and hold it down. So that is what we're doing. I'm using two at the top, one on the side and one at the bottom. You can add more or less. You could absolutely cut down the stems to work better for you. That's totally fine. Whoops, I've bent that one there. Yeah, I've put them roughly in the same spots. Okay, one more. Okay, well, not one more, but okay, that one works beautifully there. So you'll have to tell me whether you prefer the open fence or the closed fence look. I'm actually kind of liking the open fence look, even though it's a little more finicky to construct. I truly do like the look of it better. Okay, so that is all my greenery in. I like that it's all a little bit popped off and it does look quite natural. So for the sentiments, I'm going to bring in, these are the iridescent pastel gems, and they do come in Calypso Coral, Balmy Blue and Gold. So what I am going to do is pop a cluster of 3 right here in the middle of this one, and one more. So a cluster of 3 here. Then I'm going to use one large one in the middle here. The cone flower, or the upside down daisy, I don't feel needs anything at all, and I just wouldn't mind just a tinsy one just at the edge of the sentiment. And so I've done one with, one without on the sentiment, and I really think that finishes the card beautifully. So that is our fence directly onto the card front, and this is our open fence that connects to a piece I have left onto the card front. So that's just the same size as our palings, so I could pop that directly on. So what have we used for this card? Of course, we have used, and I can't find the stamp set. Of course, we have used our Cheerful Daisies stamp set and dies. And we've used our trimmer and just the embellishments. We've kept this one simple with supplies, and of course we use some of our blending brushes. We kept it simple with supplies, but I've given you a fun fold, so I do hope you enjoyed that. In the project sheet will be the complete list of dimensions, what you need, and a full list of supplies. I'll also have a shop link there if you would like to purchase anything. Once again, thank you so much for purchasing my class, and enjoy the other cards that I have in store for you. I look forward to seeing you in my next class. Bye.